I want to talk a little bit about some of this quarterback carousel that's going on right now. One of the things officially yesterday, that man Deshaun Watson out of Houston officially requested
official on
him, requested a trade out of Houston there. And obviously, his top priority or his top destination was the Jets. I think number 2 was the Dolphins. And, as a Jets fan, dude, butthole gets real tight thinking about that. You couldn't get a pen up my ass with a jackhammer. You know what I'm saying? Just hype city. And you know what I'm saying? And I think, I remember when we initially started talking about this, it's like, why would Houston ever do that? If you're Houston and you already have Deshaun Watson, to have one of the best quarterbacks in the league is like step one as far as going to build a team. But we're seeing the NFL start to turn into the NBA a little bit with just this player movement, man. Players aren't happy. They don't like the situation they're in. And whether they're under contract or not, just find a way to get themselves out of where they are and go where they want to. And I don't think some of the situations, especially, if you sign a piece of paper, you get yourself, you have a deal, you have years left on your contract. I don't really think that's the right way to do things. But I do think player movement as a whole is big and good for the league. I really do, let some players go to different cities. It's good for their markets. And guys just want to be competitive and win a chip. But Deshaun Watson, they're going to the Jets. I said, besides Jacksonville and possibly the Dolphins, the Jets probably have the most they could give up. Like I said, that number 2 overall pick, they could give up, their first for next year. They could probably give up because it's probably going to take 3 first-round picks. You know what I mean? And the Jets have the capital.
For sure. We're looking at like a ransom level trade here. I don't know if I want to quite go to the James Harden level with this, but it's going to be up there. Like, that's Deshaun Watson, brother.
Deshaun Watson. It's going to definitely take a lot. And the only thing, that's good for Deshaun Watson, I guess, in this case, and maybe gives me hope as a Jets fan, is he said he does want to go to the Jets, and he does have a no trade clause. So if they say, if the Houston likes another offer, Deshaun Watson could just say, no, I'm not going. I'm not getting traded there. And so the ball kind of is in his court. And, I think with the Jets side of thing is, the Jets organization and Robert Salas came out and said they do like Sam Darnold. They do think he has potential. They do kind of have to say that, though, to a degree, because he's the quarterback. And
I don't disagree with it.
I don't disagree with it. I'm a big Sam Darnold guy, too. I got a jersey hanging up in the closet. Just this is Deshaun fucking Watson we're talking about here, brother. I don't care, Sam Darnold, Sam Smith. I don't give a fuck. Stay with me. I'm talking to Deshaun Watson, man. I get him on his football team. One of the only things about that, though, that I have to be humble as a Jets fan, and I think Jets fans do need to put it in perspective and makes the situation a little weird, is obviously Houston had a bad year and is probably entering into a rebuild stage. And if you go to the Jets, kind of looking at the same thing for the most part.
For sure. But at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson expressed his interest in New York, in a multitude in a bunch of different ways. So, it's kind of clear he wants to go there. But, looking at it from a rebuild standpoint, Houston is in a much worse position than New York Jets are. That's just facts. Jets have way more capital, way more picks, et cetera, goes on and on. Houston these past 5 years has just been slowly on a huge downhill, and it just finally all imploded this year. So, they're in a terrible spot as an organization, dude. And then your star franchise face of your teams is like, yeah, I really don't want to play here. Like, damn, son, that sucks. But yeah, good for Deshaun Watson. It's cool to just see him. I want to see him do well, and that's obviously not going to happen in Houston. You being a Jets fan, dude, that's got to feel great if he does land there.
Yeah, I'm hype. It's the guy. And obviously, the problems obviously run deeper in Houston because, like you said, your star franchise quarterback.
It's even all the way up to the front office level. Their GM, their head coach, literally that whole organization is just a shit show, dude.
Yeah, no, it really is. And at the end of the day, all I can say is, hey, we'll take Deshaun Watson. I'd give up whatever it takes necessarily because we have the cap room. We could give up the picks. That number 2 pick is obviously worth a lot, but we could still keep Seattle's. We still keep a couple. We'd be able to keep at least 1 first, and we have a lot of other picks. But whatever they got to do to give it up, and we have a lot of good wide receivers on the market. This wide receiver free agency We're talking Chris Godwin. We're talking Kenny Galladay. We're talking AR-15. What's his name there in Chicago? Allen Robinson. The third. We're talking, Marvin Jones. We got some good guys on.
But I mean, I don't really even hate the Jets receiving core as a whole. I mean, they don't have that star-studded player, but I mean, they got a couple of dudes.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not guys, but they're dudes.
James Crowder's a great slot guy. Denzel Mims, when he was on the field, he looked really good. So I would like to see if they could go get a big body Kenny Galladay or something.
Oh, they got 2, 3, 4 covered, brother.
Boom. Yeah, 2, 3, 4 is covered. That's a good point. And obviously, they could just look to during the draft, bulk up that line, maybe go get you some. They really need some secondary help. I like the safety Austin they got there, but they definitely need some cornerback help. And I think the Jets are going to be. It seems like Robert Saleh is kind of that dude, bro. He's just got some.
I'm excited to see what he does. I mean, as a head coach here, he has just kind of had that juice, in his previous positions here.
Through a fucking wall for that guy, dude. It seems like he's one of those type of guys, which I think.
He's no Dan Campbell, bro.
He ain't no Dan Campbell. Dude. We ain't taking no kneecaps on the way up. Whatever the fuck he was talking about. But Deshaun Watson, we got one right now. This boy Matt Stafford.
Yeah, speaking of Dan Campbell, bro.
Him and the Lions. Mutually agreeing to part ways. Now, the only thing is he's under contract, so that means, teams are going to have to trade for him. I don't know what the market is going to, whatever the word is, get for. I don't know what you're going to have to give up to get Matt Stafford. I don't know what he's worth at this point. Surely a first-round pick, maybe a couple seconds or something. But
gotta be. I mean, also when you're trading for a person like Matt Stafford, you got to have longevity in your mind. He's already had a pretty long, hard-hitting career. Like, he's been injured, etc. I'm not taking anything away from his talent. I think he's a great quarterback. I really do like Matt Stafford. But, when you're going out making plays, you got to be thinking 3-4 years probably maximum here. So, I mean, that's something big to think about. But, I mean, he's gonna go in there and, make you a good football team. He's a great leader in the locker room. I don't know. Right now, I'd really like to see him in the Colts or 49ers jersey. Then on the other side of that, the Lions are also going to need a quarterback. So who the fuck are the Lions going to get?
I think the Lions are going full rebuild. They're going to look to the draft. I think they have the 5th or 6th pick. So, I mean, they'll probably be looking at, one of those Zach Wilsons.
Mac Jones, son.
Nah, Mac Jones. I mean, they'll be looking to make a play for that. They'll find a guy they like. For sure. I think the Lions going forward are just in straight rebuild mode. I don't think Galladay comes back or any guy like that. They're going to look.
He's hot. The Lions are probably going to acquire some assets for him. Like, he's hot right now for sure.
Who?
Kenny Galladay.
He's a free agent.
So it turns out, wow, that's insane.
Free agent, so he's free. That's why they call it that. But they'll definitely get some assets for Matt Stafford wherever he goes. And then, like you say, obviously the Colts are a hot spot right now. That's going to be the talk of the town. I feel
it's a good spot to land, especially for a season QB like that. Plug and play, exactly.
It's just going to take. I'd really like to see him give Jacoby Brissett a chance, but we saw that roster is ready to go win a Super Bowl, and I do think Jacoby Brissett is nice.
Maybe he goes to the Lions, dude. Maybe just straight up trade right there. Imagine that.
Well, I think at this point, Brissett is just more valuable in the quarterback room than he is necessarily on the field. So I think the Colts and Frank Reich is a fan of him. They'd like to keep him around. But, hey, I think you put Matty Stafford in that Colts lineup. I mean, good offensive line. We just saw what they did with Phillip Rivers. Like I said, I think at this point in his career, Matt Stafford is better than Phillip Rivers. So they could possibly run up some games next year. But obviously, we're going to see a lot of movement. Obviously, one going on, a little rumor right now is that boy Aaron Rodgers. I know it's just talk, rumors, way too early, but it's fun.
Long media week
exist.
It is fun to talk about.
We're pulling for straws here, but that's the same thing, dude. Aaron Rodgers, fuck around. I'd like to see him in a Niners uniform if he's had it.
West Coast kid, dude. That's where he's from, hometown. I mean, he wanted to be drafted by San Francisco, and that's kind of one of those chips he's had on his shoulder his entire career.
Yeah,
is that they didn't take him. So I mean, that would be crazy to see. But again, I was saying this with Deshaun Watson, obviously, but if Green Bay Packers were to go out and get rid of Aaron Rodgers, that's just not the move. I mean, he's coming off of literally the MVP season here.
He's gonna
be hot again next year. I mean, for them to get rid of him would be I don't have that much faith in Jordan Love.
Yeah, well, clearly Green Bay does because they took a chance and drafted him, and maybe Aaron Rodgers got fed up and said, you're not putting pieces around me. I need to win this championship.
Imagine, I mean, it's 2 years in a row. They've been arguably one piece away from going to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's not a coincidence to make the conference championship 2 years in a row. I mean, that's an achievement in its own.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it is. To do that back-to-back years is no easy feat, but they said a lot of quarterback movements about to happen and whatnot. I know, your boys down up there in Philly got a lot of shit they got to figure out. Sirianni this morning talking.
Yeah, dude, Carson's like, do I want to stay still? I don't know.
Hey, at this point, brother, I'm not waiting around for him. Me personally, I think he burned his bridge with Philly. But I mean, it's whatever they want. Like you said, that's another. They gave him a really big contract. But
at this point in time, I'd be happy with either of them going forward, either him or Jalen Hurts, obviously. But I'm just kind of tired of the bullshit, dude. It's been like a really bad year to be a Philly fan. Finally hit the offseason, and it's just not over with yet.
So. Not a fan of the Wentz's little attitude, dude. He's having a little pout party right now. And like I said, talent or enough, dude, that's just a headache for my organization. I don't want, I would just let Jalen Hurts I'd just give him the start, see what he has. If not, just realize, hey, we fucked up. Something happened along the lines, and we just.
I don't know. I just think there's going to come a point in time where they have to make a decision on one of them, and when it happens, it happens. I'm going to be happy either way, but just the lead up to that point, like it's been so brutal, dude. It started in the season, and it's just carrying on, and you can't get on Philly Twitter, bro, without not even the fans, the reporters, the people talking about it, bringing out this news are just stirring that pot so heavy for 15 weeks now. So I don't know. We'll just see what happens. But I just want something to happen. I'm saying.
Yeah, I just want Carson Wentz to be a good quarterback because he's not currently. But I feel
all right, bad fifth year. Relax.
Yeah, it's all right. But Nick Foles in the cut.
Nick Foles sucks too, bro. What do you mean?
Got you that ring though.
For sure, but that's a run. And Carson was also great that year.
Yeah, it hasn't really been since, but I feel you. We'll leave
Neither
that.
Has Foles.
He's trash, but I feel you. No, Foles was good when it mattered, so that's what I care about. But now we'll leave that. Carson Wentz. But all right, man. Yeah, quarterback carousel going on this NFL offseason. Honestly, we got Super Bowl coming up next Sunday, but I think after the Super Bowl, man, we're going to start to see a lot of dominoes fall.
Oh, yeah. Once the season's finally over, oh, yeah. Bieniemy is going to end up somewhere.
Bieniemy potentially. I don't know where at this point. I don't know what jobs open. Houston just hired their head coach. The Chargers filled. I don't know what's open left at this point. I really thought Bieniemy would have gotten a job by now. But, yeah, after this, dominoes going to fall into place. A lot of quarterbacks already in the league are going to be moving. And then we have a big influx of quarterbacks coming into this draft. There's 4 or 5 guys we're going to see that are going to go in the first or second round. So definitely big quarterback move.